your answers in the chat box. So everyone can answer if they know about web development. Very well, we can see some of the answers in the chat box. Ayush Yadav says developing efficient websites. Okay. Mayank says development of websites. Okay, very well. Okay, I can say that some of the people are aware what is web development. Now, I would like to invite Yashi Verma to take over the session.
Hello. So coming to the table of contents that we are going to see on the event. Yes. So coming to the table of content that we are going to see is the introduction to web development. That means we are going to learn what is web development, then the roadmap of web development. Then we are going to move forward with the difference between MEAN and MERN. And then next, we are also going to see the future of web as well as introduction to HTML. And at the end, we are also going to have a Q&A session with a fun quiz. Now coming to what is web development. Introduction to web development. So what is web development? What does web developers do? Web development means you are creating a website, you are presenting a website, as well as you are deploying these websites. Some of the well-known websites that you know are such as the e-commerce website, Amazon, Flipkart, and so on. And then next, moving forward with the roadmap of web development. Now moving forward with the roadmap of web development. Web development is divided into three categories. That is a front-end developer, a back-end developer, and a full-stack developer. Now coming first to a front-end developers. Front-end developers are actually those who build what you are able to see on the screen. For example, you are able to see a website, you are able to see the layouts, you are able to see the informations as well. So this all things is the work of a front-end developer. The skills required to being a front-end developer includes the HTML. HTML is the backbone of everything that you see on the web. Then next is the CSS. CSS is used for styling and presentation. You can change the layouts, you can change the font of a HTML thing with the help of CSS. And then next the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is the framework of CSS. And then next the JavaScript. JavaScript, which helps to control the page behavior and the interactivity. Now, next is the backend developer. Backend developers are those who are responsible for the behind the scene of a product. For example, do you know what the database are stored from a websites? Actually, we don't know about that. So this is the work of a backend developer. Backend developers usually have idea of everything what goes behind the website. The skills required to being a backend developers includes the programming languages, that is JavaScript, Python, Java, PHP, etc. You should also have a basic knowledge of database structure, data structures and algorithm, as well as some sort of database as well, that is MySQL, SQL Server, and so on. You should also know some of the cloud hosting platforms, that is Google Cloud Platform and the Amazon Web Services, as well as the version control, that is Git. Now coming to the full stack developer. Full stack developers are like a whole. They are a front-end developer, they are a back-end developer. They are able to make the layouts, that is the front part, as well as they are able to control the back part of the website as well. For example, full stack developers are like a one-man army. They are able to control the front end, they are able to control the back end, and some sort of database. As well as full stack developers are responsible to deploy the applications online so that people can chase it, buy it, sign up for it, whatever they want, they can do on the website. So full stack developers are responsible for all those things. Now for the next, I would like to invite Shubh sir to take on the event.
Okay, so now we will see what is MEAN and what is MERN. So what do you understand by MEAN? So MEAN, M stands for MongoDB, E stands for Express.js, A stands for Angular, and N stands for Node.js. So it's basically an open source free JavaScript stack that is used for building dynamic applications or website. Using this MEAN, you can also build server-side as well as client-side applications. All the components present in it are support JavaScript. Now, what is MERN? MERN, M stands for MongoDB, E stands for Java, Express.js, R stands for React, and N stands for Node.js. It is something similar to MEAN, but the difference is in the front end and UI is developed using React. Now we will see the difference between MEAN and MERN. So the difference is the language. In MEAN, the language is Angular, and in MERN, the language is React. When it comes to the popularity between MEAN and MERN, so MERN means React is very much popular as compared to Angular. When it's come to the productivity side, so productivity means like a product in which we can easily make the projects. So Angular has high productivity as compared to React. When it comes to the testing part, so Angular in projects in Angular can be tested easily as compared to React because it has some complexity. When it comes to the companies in which Angular can be used, so it's NASA and Google. When it comes to the React, we use Facebook and Netflix. Now we will see how to choose the best one. So the key factors will be the project size, productivity, mobile applications, experience, and error-free code. So when it comes to the project size, if the project size is large, so we will be going with Angular because Angular has as a large and it's a one byte binding of reaction. So we can use React in that project size. When it comes to productivity, productivity means when the project is based on productivity. So we will using Angular because it's a complete framework and React is a library. When it comes to the mobile application, so React has a better UI design. That's why we go with the mobile application. We go with React. When it comes to error-free code, Angular is an error-free code application. Now I would like to call upon Yashi Verma to take it further.
Now coming to the future of web development. Every company requires a web developer to make their website so they can show their products. They can actually move their websites to show whole the future. So now some of the future of web development advantages that you are going to get as a plenty of job opportunities. You can work as a front-end developer, you can work as a back-end developer as well as a full-stack developer. And their average salary is around 6 to 7 lakh. Then coming to the job flexibility, you can work from any place that you want. You can work from the home, you can work from the office, anywhere that you like, you can work. Now next, you can also add some of the skills to your resume. You can add some of the skills that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all the skills can be added to your resume as well. Now the Sandesh will take over the event and tell you about the HTML.
Hello guys, I am Sandesh Ratnawat from GDSC IITR. So let's start, and here we are going to have some hands-on on HTML. So what is HTML? HTML is the code which is used to structure a web page and its content. For example, a content could be structured within a set of paragraph, headings, a list of bulleted points, tables, or using images. So next we will see how to create an HTML page. In order to create an HTML page, the file must have an extension of .htm or .html file. As you all know that for writing any code we need a text editor or an editor. So for writing HTML, we can write it on Notepad, WordPad, etc. But for the ease, we use various editors such as VS Code, Sublime Text, Notepad++. Since these code editors have some features like IntelliSense and various other features like code snippets, which makes web development easier and handy. And also we have some online code editors such as CodePen. The link for the same will be shared in the chat box. And next we are going to work on VS Code. So first of all, we will install the VS Code from the official site. The link for the same will be shared in the chat box. Now, since my system has a version Windows x64, we will install this following installer. But since I have already installed this on my system, so we'll move ahead with the installation process, and we'll now open VS Code. So now, since we are going to work on HTML, we need to have some extension installed in our PC. So we are going to use extensions such as HTML snippets. I have already installed this one on my PC. Also, we are going to install IntelliSense. IntelliSense for CSS, class name, etc. and then we are going to install CSS formatter, and one more extension we are going to install is live server, since we will be working and seeing our result at the same time. So we'll install this live server extension too. So you have 2 to 3 minutes of you have 5 minutes of time, 5 minutes to install VS Code on your system. So after installing, please let me know in the chat box. So we are going to so I will provide that on chat box. So we are going to install live server, HTML snippets, this one, and we are going to install CSS formatter. So these 2, 3, 4 extensions we are going to install for the purpose. So since I guess everyone have installed this, so we should move ahead with the presentation. So now since all have installed the VS Code, we'll move ahead. We'll now move ahead to the structure of HTML. Since the structure of HTML, actually what web page look like. First of all, it's a title heading. You can see here, as we have seen here, in this. This is a title which we see, and then comes to the body part. Everything we see on the web page contains in the body part. Now we'll see how to structure an HTML page. So we have created an HTML file. Now the HTML structure, the first line contains the version information. Since we are going to use HTML5, for HTML5 we use the following tag doc type HTML. This is used for mentioning HTML that we are using HTML5 version. For different version we have different tags. And we start with the HTML part. Under this everything is content such as title, body, head. The title is contained in the head part. We will title this as Web Chronicles. Okay. And a head and a body part. In which we keep everything inside, such as heading, paragraph, everything which is left is inside the body tag. So now we will discuss some more things. So here we are using meta tag. So what actually is meta tag? Meta tag contains the metadata, which is metadata is data about the data we are going to mention in the web page. Such as we are going to that character set, it defines the encoding of the data. Since we have declared it as UTF-8, it will be universal and can be viewed in any browser. And we also share some other data such as device compatibility. Through mentioning the device compatibility, we can make a step forward in a responsive web design. So next, what we are going to see. So here title we are going giving Web Chronicles. Okay. So moving ahead with the presentation. Next is HTML elements. So what are HTML elements? HTML elements are the everything starting from the start tag to the end tag. So now what are tags? So tags are like keywords that defines the content, how the content will look in the browser window. So HTML tags contains three main parts. First is opening tag, second is content part, and third is end tag. So there are some tags which don't have a closing part, which we say is empty element. So we will now see this in a code editor. So here we will see this body. It is a start tag, and we will, if we write any content inside this like hello, we are working on VS Code. So ये हो जाएगा कंटेंट पार्ट. देन उसके बाद आता है एंड टैग, जो कि अपन एंगुलर ब्रैकेट्स के अंदर और एक स्लैश साइन लगा के रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं एंड टैग को. देन वी हैव बेसिक टैग्स सच एज heading, paragraph, image, link, and text formatting. We all gonna see how they are performed. So what heading tag is? So heading tag. In heading tag, we have heading 1 from heading 6. The heading 1 represents the most significant heading and heading 6 represents the least significant heading. So we will see this practically. Right, heading 1, and we'll see this. Like we are going to give a tribute to someone. So we'll write, we are going to give tribute to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So we are writing his name as our main heading. So we will see this in a live server, what it looks like. So you can see here the heading 1 looks like this, and if we see the other headings, so we will see like heading 2, we will see similarly we will write for heading 3. Till the heading 6. We'll now see the effects in the browser. So we can see this heading 1 is the most highlighted one, and we can see that it is more significant. Similarly, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 6, until heading 6 it comes it becomes the least significant, and the smaller and smaller it goes. The next we have the paragraph tag. So as the name signifies and as the name suggests that the paragraph tags it starts with a new line. The browser automatically adds margins before and after the paragraph tag. As like we don't have to give a br tag in order to mention. So we'll see what paragraph tag is. So it starts with the p tag and ends with the /p tag, and in between we can write the content such as missile man of India. So we'll now see the effects. So in the all the any text we have represented in a p tag comes under the heading tag and in the new line actually. So next, going ahead with the presentation, we have image tag. So how to add an image? In image tag we have, here is the syntax of the image tag. We write it with the img, starting with the img, and we have some attributes. So what are attributes? Since we haven't seen it till now, so attributes are the additional things we mention about a tag. So for image we will mention a source, an image source. So we will need an image of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. We'll pick one from Wikipedia. And we have another attribute for this, which is alt tag. An alt tag represents an alternate text if your image is not loaded on the browser or any other error occurs. So we will write Dr. Kalam. And it ends. There is one more thing about the image tag. It is it's an empty tag. It means that it doesn't have any closing tag. So we can see the effects now on the live server. Since we have added this image, here we got an image. So you have some time to see to practical all these things we have discussed till now, and mention in the chat box. And you also have WhatsApp to share the screenshot. So for syntax purpose, this is my screen. And if you have any questions, you can drop in the chat box. We will take all the questions at the end of the session. We'll see only the introduction of HTML since we have the time constraint. So that's why. The guest, no name is mentioned. So for you, it's not important to specify metadata every time. You can just start with the HTML since how you got that meta tag. So I got that meta tag because it comes, it's a code snippet from the VS Code. Actually, I don't need to mention it every time. So I just use it's a feature of VS Code. Like I just need to mention this. Like when I mention this, it will mention the whole code. Yes, Shubham, you can get the recording of this session on the Discord. We will share you on the Discord. Yeah, at the end of the session, we'll share all our social media and Discord link with all of you. So I guess everyone have tried on their system. We'll move ahead. I guess one question was there on the image code by the Aman. So we will see that once again, image tag. So there was a question about image tag. So in image tag, the syntax is img. The tag starts with the img, and we have the attributes. So as we all know, attributes are the additional information that we mention about the tag. So in the source, I have copied the image source here. So in the source part, it comes like this, and in the alt part, we are writing a text so that when an image is not loading or any error occurs on the image path, it can show a text instead. And also it is it's a good practice to mention an alt tag because it improves the accessibility of your code. Since when if a blind person is accessing your website, he will through screen readers, he will come to know that yeah, there is an image of Dr. Kalam. So it's very good practice to mention alt tag. Aside source and alt, there are some more properties with an image tag. We can mention the width of the image. Like I will mention the width as 30 pixels. We'll now see the effect. So the 30 pixel image looks like this. And we can also mention the height of the image. So this is how width and height of 30 pixel image looks like. Okay, so now we'll see what are comments. Actually, comments are very integral part of any language. So for comments in comments in HTML, we'll see there's a shortcut for VS Code. You just have to press Control and a question mark button to get a comment. So comment is mentioned in this syntax. So this is the syntax of comment. Whenever so you can comment any text. So I can write that this is heading. This is paragraph. So comment makes your code readable when you are working on a project. If after you, if someone is looking on your project, then he will easily come to know that yeah, this part is this and this part is this. So comments are very helpful. And yes, comments are not shown in a browser window. We can see this. I have written 2 comments. These are not mentioned in the browser. So next we have link, HTML links. So here I'm going to insert a link. The link is inserted using an anchor tag, which is represented by A, and like an image, it also have an source attribute, but it's not mentioned as source. It is href. When you will click a link, it will move to that page. So here we will mention a link of a Wikipedia page of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I have copied the address of this page, and now I'm going to paste this in the href part. So whenever we are anchor tag is a full tag, like it's a open tag, and then it is also have a closing tag. So it's a complete element, not an empty element like image. So here we will mention like a text Wikipedia. Okay, we will now see this on the screen, how it looks like. So here I have mentioned the link Wikipedia. When I click the it will load the page. Okay. Also, we have one more attribute that we can add in this part. It's a target attribute. What target does is, like, it will mention it, whether the link will open in the same tab or a different tab. By default, it opens in the same tab, but it can be by mentioning blank. It will open in the other tab. This time we have seen this, the tab was opening in the same tab, but when we click the link, it will now open on the other tab. So this is, we are done with the anchor tag. Now we'll move ahead with the presentation. List. So we'll now see what are lists. So since lists are of three types: ordered list, unordered list, and description list. Coming to the ordered list, it starts with the OL tag, and each item starts with the LI tag, by default marked with numbers. And then becomes then on the unordered list part, it starts with the UL tag, and each list item starts with the LI tag by default and marked with bullets. And description list, as the name suggests, it is a list of terms with the description of each item. It starts with DL tag, and DT defines the term, and the DD describes each term. So we'll now see this on a code window. So first we are going to see an unordered list. So we are using a shortcut here, OL, for the ordered list, and then we will place and closing angular bracket. Then we'll mention the list items, and then we'll put a multiplication sign here, asterisk, and then we'll mention how many list items we want. So right now I need a 3 list items, so I'll mention the 3. It will give me the structure of the whole list. So here we will now mention what all list we want. So here we write birth, education, and career. Now we will see this on the live server. Here we can see the list birth, education, career, and by default, as I said, then it is a numbered list. We can change the type of the list by using selectors. We'll see this in the later part of the day. Now we'll see what actually is unordered list. For unordered list, we use the same shortcut, UL angular bracket list item, and similar we will use 3 list items here. The same we will write birth, education, career. So as I said, by default there is a bulleted list. Unordered list is a bulleted list by default, and we can change using the selectors. And so we'll see this in the later part of the day. The next thing we are going to see is description list. We'll define this with DL, then DT into 2. As I said, DL DL defines the description list, DT defines the description term, and for giving the description of the term, first of all we'll write the description term. So birth will write description, and then here we'll place DD description data, we say. So and other we will see, so we'll see the output. Now we can see this. This is a description list. Here is a description term and the data and the description we have given to this data. So this is what our list, and we will see the how to style the list in the next day in the CSS session. So you have 5 minutes to try out all these things we have discussed right till now. And please mention the chat box, and if you have any difficulty you can share the screenshot on the WhatsApp group. I think you all have joined. Here is the code, you can see entire.
Sandesh, can you please check the chat box?
Yeah, sure. Okay, unordered list. So okay, we'll take the question first, unordered list. So unordered, in a unordered list, it's like that. It's not number. It's not a sequence, properly sequenced. It's just like that, a bulleted list or a squared list, such as, since we are mentioning UL, unordered list for the UL part, and then we mention the list items, how many list items we need. Like I said, I am mentioning 3 here. So unordered list specifies by default a bulleted list of things. Education, the similar things we are writing here. So unordered is it simple, it's like ordered list, but it doesn't have any sequence. It is and it's marked by the bullets by default, and you can change the styles to square and any other thing, or also you can make use of images for mentioning the bullets. So I guess it's clear now. Sneha. Now Juhi, what is the use of target? So target is used to mention that the link will open in the same tab or another tab. Like, since we have mentioned Wikipedia and we have mentioned the target as blank, so it will move to the another tab, since link will open in another tab. Now if we don't mention anything here, like if you don't mention anything here, the link will open in the same tab. So this is the use of target tag, target attribute. Yes, Paras, you are right. DD is a definition description, actually. Actually, it's a description data. Now, I guess everyone have looked into the whatever we have discussed right till now. Now we are going to move towards the table part. So first of all, what actually a table looks like. So a table consists of rows and columns. So rows are this. This is row 1. This is row 2. This is row 3. Similarly, row 4, row 5, and these are columns. This is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and column 5. So intersection of rows and columns make the cell. So this one is cell 1, cell 2, similarly cell 3, cell 4. So this is table. Now we'll see the structure, how we'll structure table in HTML, cell, rows, and table headers. Everything we will see in a code editor now. So we'll now see use of tables. So for structuring table, first we need to define a tag known as table. Okay. So under this we have to now mention the row wise. We are now going to see a row wise treatment of a table. So for mentioning a row, we will write tr. Okay. And under the tr, we are going to mention the first. At the first, we see in a general table we see that first row is a heading row. Like in this, we see this first row. We all mention a heading. So we'll mention a table heading. It's just th. Okay. Under th, if we write as by serial number, in another th will write name, and another th will write college. So we are going to make it's of 3, and another th will write of age. Okay, so this is a table heading, and we'll see this in the live server now. So since we have mentioned the heading, so it comes in a bold: serial number, name, college, age. We'll now see for mentioning for feeding the data inside the table. We'll now make one more row. In the row we will now going to mention table data. This represents column. For the td represents the column data. So in the first column, since the heading is serial number, we are going to write 1. In the another since it's a name, I will write Sandesh, my name. And other is college, so I'll mention just AITR. And the other one is TD, so I'll mention my age. So here we can see there's under the each heading my data is feeded. Similarly, we can give more rows. I'll just copy this one. You can see one more row is added. Similarly, we can add more rows inside this. Now we can see in typical table, we see the borders all around the table. So here we will make some border here. In order to add some border here, there's an attribute known as border attribute. Here we'll mention the border like 2 pixels solid. You can see border around each cell in the table. So this is table, and this is the whole syntax you can see here. And let me explain the borders first of all. The 2px mentions the width of the border, and the solid attribute the type of border we use. There are some more borders such as dotted. You can see the change here. Style. When we'll mention the style here, in the style tag we will get those thing. So solid mentions this type of Okay, so you all have 5 minutes to see this table part, and we'll move ahead with the forms. You can all see this code here. We'll be taking questions in the chat box. Shiva might just explain the target take. Target just make in the anchor part. The target take just mentions that the tab will be open in the in the similar tab, or the link will open in the another tab. That was it, which is the use of target tag. Nothing more. Uh, Kripanch will share the code at the end of the session on with the resources. Okay, Prathamesh, in order to paste the code, in order to upload the image from a device, one just needs to mention an image. Since I don't have an image I have one image right now, so I will just mention. Since I have an image droplets in the same folder, I'll mention this, and we'll see the effects. Like it's changed. Will increase the height width. Okay, so from device you can upload an image right like this, or you or also you can, if the image is not in the same folder, you can also mention the path here. Since uh, you can see the path here, it's in D practice web chronicles droplets jpg. So we'll mention a path here, D. Like this. Okay, I have mentioned the wrong path, I guess. Yeah, where to slash like this. So here's the path you can mention. If your image is in another folder, I will recommend that whatever image you are going to insert or upload, just uh, copy that image in the same folder. So it will be a lot more easier for you to use that image. As you can see, sometimes that path goes wrong. So it's recommended that you upload that image in the same folder. So Kushi, how to color border? We will see this. Yeah, we can see this right now. Like after solid, you can mention a color. Like if you want to color it red, you can see here. Not like that. Okay. So for this, we have a style tag here. Inline styles, we use style tag border. 2px solid, and then we'll mention the border color here. Color, like we mention a color here. So here you can see that we can see the color on the borders. Like we can style here. Yeah, this is how we can change the color of the border. Yes, yes, Ashutosh, you can use the colored code. Since I don't remember any color code, so I use just the name of the color code. We will see this in the next session, Pramod. Nikhil, which one you want? I like which part you want to see again? And yeah, also there are some more resources you can see this. That since of time constraint, we are not covering everything here. So you can visit W3 resources for everything. Here is the link. I'll paste the link on the chat box. You can visit W3 resources. Here is a link you can visit for more styling. Okay, I guess so everyone is clear with the table part. So now we'll move ahead with the forms, HTML forms. So what are actually HTML forms? So HTML forms collects the data from the user. So like we all have seen the login pages. Like we will see the one here, like feedback forms like this. Everyone might have seen this type of forms where you can enter your name, your email ID, your course, year, etc. So it can be achieved using HTML forms. So we are now going to see those things. So HTML forms start so this is a BR tag. In order to start a new line, we are using a BR tag here. So a form structure starts with the following thing, form. Okay. Then also we have a caption. Since everything has a caption, so we can write a caption for the form. Like we can write here GDSC feedback. Okay. And then we are going to structure our form. So in the form we have two main things. One is label and another is input. So label is what we see here. Like we are going to mention here name. So it's a label for the input, that what we are going to input here. So it's a name. So we are going to that label part. Label 4. Since we are going to enter this for name, actually we are seeing this attribute for IDs etc. in order to render it with JavaScript, so that it can store in the and it can provide it to the backend part. So we are using 4 as a substitute for ID in level part. and we will mention here just name. Okay, and then in another line we will ask for the input from the user. So what user will input? First of all, type. What type of name is? It's a text field, so we can write here text. And another, we mention an ID where it's going to store, so it should always match with the label for, like it will store data for the ID name, and label is collecting data for the ID name. So this two things should match, for और ID दोनों match होना चाहिए इसलिए. तो अब यहाँ पे अपन टेक्स्ट देख सकते हैं कि एक टेक्स्ट बॉक्स अपीयर हुआ होगा, like you can see here is the GDSC feedback, and this is a caption right here, and the name. Okay, we need to break a line. It's an inline element, I guess. So we can see here the heading GDSC feedback, then name, and we have the input box here. So I can write here text part, but I cannot. Text part you can write here. Now since we also seen email page, so next field we will going to mention an email. For email ID. Input, since email, we have a type of email also, since email, and then ID, similarly we'll write here ID as email, because we are writing label email, for is email, so ID we have to give it same. So here we can see we have one more field here, input field, which is of email ID. We can write here as email, that it's automatically suggest, Google is automatically suggesting me here my email ID. So I guess this previous data is causing some problem, so we'll hide this. We'll comment out this part. So we have commented this part. So yeah, now it's maybe it's properly visible. Yeah. So the next field we can, there is one more thing you can add in the input part. It's a placeholder thing. Like if you want to mention a text, like enter your name inside. Yeah, so by default, when you are placing a cursor, you can write Sandesh like this. So in order to mention this, we have this part, placeholder part. Similarly, we can write here placeholder, enter your mail. Like this. Similarly, have many things in here, like we can also add a drop down menu here, like if we are asking for label, so we can write here for course. And then we will ask user for the course. So for drop down menu, we will use a select tag. Okay. And we will give an ID course, or we'll just mention the select now as of now, and we'll give the options like option wait a minute. So for options we'll write here like BTech, BCA. So we have mentioned the two course here. Now we will see the, yeah, you can see that we have mentioned the two course. Here's a drop down menu we will get, and you can, and the all the placeholder thing you can see here. So this is what HTML forms look like. So next task is we have to create this or every field. Okay, we have three more things to discuss here. Is first is radio button and another is checkbox. So you just have to mention input type as radio or input type as checkbox for mentioning that part. So we'll write here label, will give a label for expertise. Okay, your level of expertise. Okay, and then we will write an input part type radio. In ID will write the expertise and mention no voice first. We can see here the part, it comes like no voice. Similarly, you can mention a checkbox here. We'll just change the input type and we'll see here a checkbox. So what are radio buttons? Or in radio buttons you can select any of the one option. Like this, I can only choose one of these three, but in checkbox you can select more than one or all the options you can select. Next we have text area. So in input type we'll write just here we'll write text area. Yeah, this one to mention the text area. So we will get a box to write a a detailed feedback of anything or a detailed thing in which we cannot write here in the text area. It is limited part, but in the text area we can write anything of any length. You can resize from the browser window and you can write anything, like we can copy paste something here, like any number of lines we can write here. Now we'll see the button. So in the form we have actually a submit, already have a button like submit ID, or that's an input of actually input type equals to button, or you can mention it's like submit and just mention this and we'll get a submit button here. So you have various other things. We have to link this button to another site, that after submitting this form you will be redirected to another page like this. So we have that attributes, so we'll mention that attribute and it will get submitted to another page. For detailed structure, I have made a form for you already. This is what an actual form looks like. Like select option, you have a value. We can give a value if we are rendering to a JavaScript form, but we are not using a JavaScript right now. So I've just mentioned the option part here. And then coming to the this checkbox part, you can see we have mentioned a label part and a checkbox, and we can see projects design. Yeah, we can see in the nearby window. So this is how actual checkbox structure looks like. And the text area and a submit button. So your task is you have to make a form with this type of fields. We will discuss the CSS of this page in the later. I mean tomorrow we'll discuss the CSS or styling of this page. So for now you have to make a field name, email, course, year, a level of expertise, and what you want to learn the next, and your and a text area. I mean you have to use this type of fields: a name field, an email field, a drop down menu, number field, and then a checkbox, a radio button, and text area, and a submit button. You have to make one form now. You have 10 minutes of time to complete this work, and if we have any doubt you can mention in the chat box. Aman will discuss the division tag. It's actually we are going to discuss the next thing, a division tag. Ankit, it's actually your task. You have to make a form with all these attributes. Kripansh will share everything on the WhatsApp with our resources, and we will mention every extension that we are using right now. So you will not get any error after that. Juhi, caption tag defines that what is form for. Actually, it gives a title for the form. Here we have provided the title GDSC feedback, and you can see a title for the feedback. It's a title with the name GDSC feedback. So it is the use of GDSC caption part. Yes, Shubham. Yes, Shubh. It will be shared on the Discord, and the Discord link is already shared. In case if you have missed it, I'm sharing it again. Juhi, yes, you can use, but in order, as I said, that accessibility matters. In a like when you are when your web page is also live, it can be used by blind people also. So screen readers will definitely read this caption GDSC feedback, and they will blind people will get to know that yes, they are making something, but heading will not specify that thing. They will not read it H1. Actually, screen reader will read as H1, not heading. So that's why. You just create it, and we will share a link to share every work you have done. So I guess we can move ahead to the display property. So now display. So by default, there are two display values, block and inline. So what actually block refers to? The block we have every so what actually block element is, so as the name suggests, the block element start with a new line and takes the full width, यानी कि वो जैसे पूरे screen की width लेता है, like in case if we are using a division tag here, division tag is an example of block and it's a container element. So as of now, if we are using a division like div tag and writing anything here, hello, okay, and then we'll write here anything else, right? So as I said that the block element specifies the whole width. So after hello, it directly this Sandesh. So here I have not given any of the BR tag or any paragraph tag or any heading tag. It by default it's a by default ये next line में आ गया, this is संदेश. So ये हो गया division. तो ये होता है block element. और block element में ये भी होता है कि अब इसका अपोजिट आता है inline elements. तो अब इनलाइन एलिमेंट्स में क्या होता है कि वो जितनी रिक्वायर्ड स्पेस होती है उतनी लेता है. अब जैसे कि यहाँ पे उसका एक एग्जांपल होता है स्पैन टैग. स्पैन टैग क्या है? एक इनलाइन टैग होता है. स्पैन टैग लिया अपनों ने और यहाँ पे अपन ने कुछ स्टाइल दे दी, जैसे कि स्टाइल दी और बॉर्डर कलर दे दिया रेड. अपनों ने कुछ लिखा वेब डेव. तो ये स्पैन टैग में क्या होता है कि ओके देयर इज सम इशू. सो स्पैन टैग में क्या होता है कि इनलाइन टैग होता है कि ये जितनी स्पेस रिक्वायर्ड होती है उसी स्पेस में आ जाता है, और मतलब नेक्स्ट लाइन से स्टार्ट नहीं होता है, कोई मार्जिन नहीं देता है. सो ये होता है इनलाइन टैग, इनलाइन डिस्प्ले. एंड डिवीजन होता है एक ब्लॉक डिस्प्ले. तो डिवीजन को अपन एक कंटेनर के यूज में यूज कर सकते हैं और स्पैन भी एक कंटेनर के टाइप में यूज होता है. अब अपन देखेंगे नेक्स्ट विल सी सेमेंटिक स्टैक. तो व्हाट आर सेमेंटिक स्टैक? जैसे कि अभी अपन इतनी देर से काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें डिस्कस करते, जैसे कैप्शन टैग था, जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि वो रीडेबिलिटी इंक्रीज कर देता है. तो सिमेंटिक अब सिमेंटिक टैग का मीनिंग क्या होता है कि elements with a meaning. So what are semantic tags? So it clearly describes its meaning to both browser as well as developer. तो जो सिमेंटिक टैग होता है जैसे कि एड्रेस है, ये आपको भी समझ में आ रहा है और ये ब्राउजर को भी समझ में आ रहा है कि यहाँ पे एड्रेस की बात हो रही है। और सिमिलरली जैसे कैप्शन है तो ये आपको भी समझ में आ रहा है और ब्राउजर को भी समझ में आ रहा है कि आप क्या यूज़ कर रहे हो। और उसके बाद वाई सिमेंटिक टैग। सो वी यूज सिमेंटिक टैग्स टू इम्प्रूव द एक्सेसिबिलिटी ऑफ द वेब पेज, जैसे कि आपने पहले डिस्कस किया था। If someone visually impaired person access the page using screen reader, the while listening the person will understand that हाँ ये चीज़ है कि जैसे कि कभी एड्रेस है तो अब उसका एड्रेस पता चल जाएगा। सिमिलरली डेट टाइम भी एक टैग होता है, सिमेंटिक टैग होता है जो कि अपन यूज़ कर सकते हैं इन प्लेस ऑफ जस्ट राइटिंग डेट, सो दैट वो रीडेबल बन जाए। अब एक और सिमेंटिक टैग का फ़ायदा होता है कि ये एसीओ भी इम्प्रूव कर देता है। एसीओ मीनिंग सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन। अब सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन इम्प्रूव होने से क्या फ़ायदा होगा कि अगर आप जैसे कि वेबसाइट से या वेब पेज से रिलेटेड गूगल पर आप कुछ भी लिखोगे तो वो सजेशन में सबसे पहले आपकी वेबसाइट देगा, तो होता है एसीओ। तो उससे एसी सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन इम्प्रूव होता है और काफ़ी हेल्पफुल होता है ये। सो फॉर डिटेल में सिमेंटिक स्टैक देखने के लिए हम W3 स्कूल्स की एक रिसोर्स मिल जाएगा हमको यहाँ पर। ये रहा HTML semantics. Here you can see the list of all the semantic tags provided. Like a section, जैसे सेक्शन जो होता है ये इसका सिमिलर वर्क होता है एज ऑफ डिवीजन। जैसे कि डिवीजन का क्या होता है कि एक पूरे विड्थ घेर के कंटेनर के टाइप में यूज़ करता है, तो सिमिलरली सेक्शन का भी वही यूज़ होता है। यहाँ पे अपन सेक्शन मेंशन करेंगे तो भी वही आउटपुट मिलेगा अपने को जो डिवीजन रखने से मिलता है। लेकिन सेक्शन से अपने को हाँ रीडेबिलिटी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, यानी कि एक्सेसिबिलिटी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी। वेयर इज दैट फॉर्म? या दिस वन। जैसे मैंने कहा था कि सेक्शन टैग का सेम काम है। अब सिमिलरली अगर आप कोई नेविगेशन बार बना रहे हो तो उसमें आप नेव यूज करोगे, ये वाला टैग यूज करोगे। लाइक इफ यू आर मेंशनिंग अ नेविगेशन, तो आप अगर नेव टैग का यूज करोगे तो आपको भी वही पता चलेगा कि हाँ जो रीडर है, मतलब जो ब्लाइंड पर्सन है जो भी एक्सेस कर रहा है कोड को, उसको पता चल जाएगा हाँ कि ये नेविगेशन बार है। देन उसके बाद एक एड्रेस टैग है, ये लिख रहे हो और इसके अंदर आप कोई एड्रेस लिख रहे हो तो हाँ वो पहले मेंशन करेगा कि हाँ ये एड्रेस आएगा। अब सिमिलरली काफ़ी सारे टैग्स होते हैं जो कि आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं इन ऑर्डर टू इंक्रीज द एक्सेसिबिलिटी एंड वेरियस अदर थिंग्स। सो विद दीज आज का अपन सेशन एंड करते हैं, और जो भी आपको डाउट्स वगैरह जो भी है आप चैट बॉक्स में लिख सकते हैं। एट द एंड अपन एक और Q&A सेशन लेंगे जिसमें आप अपने डाउट्स पूछ सकते हैं। सो I'll now hand over the event to the Yashi. Yashi, please continue.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Yashi, you are audible.
Okay, Sandesh, please present the PPT. So next, coming to the summary of event, what we have learned today. We had covered the part of web development. We have learned the introduction to web development as well as the roadmap for it. We have seen the skills that are required to being a web developer. For example, a front-end, a back-end, and a full stack. Next to that, we have seen the difference between MEAN and MERN stack. And then we have also done a HTML, introduction to HTML, as well as the hands-on practice to that. That is, we have learned the forms, lists, tables, and so on. So also we are going to have a very exciting fun quiz after the Q&A session. So now we have a Q&A session now. You all can ask any questions or any doubts regarding all the topics we have covered today. For example, the web development, roadmap, HTML, etc. You all can ask your doubts through the chat. Our team members are going to answer all your questions. You can ask your questions in the chat box.
So Shubh, your today's task is you have to you have to make a form. This form, don't worry about the all the styling. You just need to make a form with with a text input type, with an email input type, with a drop down list, with a number input type, with a radio, with a checkbox, and a text area with a submit button. Just have to make one form with all these input types. So this is your today's task, and we'll see styling this thing in the tomorrow session.
Tanvi, you can make any type of form in which you are interested for. It can be a bank form or it could be registration form. It's just for your practice कि आप सीख पाओ कि कैसे form create करना है. Where to submit the task. Okay, so we will be sharing a form in which we will be asking your GitHub links. There you need to submit your code, your GitHub link. Can we complete full stack development in 1 month? No, full stack web development cannot be possible in 1 month. It could hardly take, it could take around 4 months. Yeah, we will be sharing the PPT and the recording of this video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So we will be sharing the links on the respective GDSCs. Okay, so we will at the end of the bootcamp, we will be sharing all the resources like which courses are good for you that you can do for the full stack web development. We will provide you during that only at the end of. Yeah, we will be sharing the form sample also.
Yeah,
Sandesh,
with our resources. Yes, sir.
you can just share the screenshot of that on the group or on the Discord channel.
Okay, I will share it on the group so that everyone can see.
Okay, so Sandesh, there is a question for you. Just check it out.
Yes, Nikhil, the input tag, na? Yes, so input tag defines what we are taking input from the user. Since in this form, in the first input box, we are taking an input of type text. And the next, we are going to take an input of type email. And in this not a it's a import, but it's a select. We are using a select tag to take input from the user. It's actually a drop down list. Is you can see we can select an option from this, and then the next is input type of number. We can take a number as an input here. You cannot write a text here, but you can write only a number. And then we have input type radio in order to uh, select any one of the option. And then we have checkbox input in order to have multiple options from the user. And then we have text area, and likewise you have some more input types. You can visit the W3 resources or Google. You will get all the input types. So we'll now discuss the structure of input type. So first of all, we'll mention the type attribute, then we'll mention ID if we are rendering it with JavaScript, since we'll be covering a JavaScript part tomorrow. So I'm using here the ID part and a placeholder in order to previously mention that what you are going to write in this input box. So placeholder for this. I guess your query is resolved.
Okay, so for the launching of our website on Google, for this we'll be having a session on the day 6th there we will be having a speaker who will show you how to you can host your website on Google or any other platforms.
Ashika, actually HTML tags and elements are slightly different things. Element contains the whole of a tag, but tags are only a single unit, while element contains the tag, and also you can nest element inside an element, but you cannot nest and tag inside a tag. Like you nest like in a HTML isn't one element. You can nest head part, body part, etc. Inside the body part, you can nest heading, paragraph, etc. So there is difference between them.
So Shubh, you can just create a GitHub account and then you can host you can just put on your project on the GitHub. It's easy to make a GitHub account. You just need to write your mail ID and your username and your GitHub account will be created. Okay, so now we can move on for the quiz. So I would like to call upon Yashi Verma for the quiz. Yashi?
Hello.
Oh yeah, you're audible.
Okay.
Yashi.
So, wow, this was such an insightful session on HTML, as well as you all have cleared your doubts. Quizzes can be quite an experience if enjoyed within friendly competition. They are the perfect combination of knowledge and a pinch of fun. So, put on your brain caps and get ready for a fun quiz based on today's session. The quiz will be on for 10 to 15 minutes. The link to the quiz will be posted in the comment box. The fun quiz will have 7 multiple choice questions. Also, the overall winner of the 4 quizzes will be announced on the last day. So, people, get ready. Your time starts now.
We have pasted a specific format for the quiz. You have to use the name in this format. For the quiz, please follow the specified name, as only those participants with the correct name format will be eligible for prizes.
एंड वन मोर थिंग गाइस कि 4 दिन जब क्विजेस होगी तो चारों दिन का जब सम अप होगा तो उस बेसिस पे हमें विनर्स मिलेंगे। ऐसा नहीं कि डे 1 डे 2 डे 3 के अलग अलग विनर्स होंगे। सारे चारों डे के क्विजेस को आप जब सम अप होगा सो द विनर्स विल बी बेस्ड ऑन दैट। सो यू नीड टू स्कोर इन ईच एंड एवरी डे टू बी ऑन द टॉप। Yeah, the quiz is not started yet. We are waiting for all of you to just join. Then we can start the quiz.
Link for the quiz has been given in the chat box.
How to open questions? So actually I'm not able to see your name, but the quiz is not started yet, so you're not able to see the questions right now. Hurry up guys, please join so that we can start the quiz. Okay, so yeah, we can start our quiz. So yeah, let's start the quiz.
Okay, so the quiz is starting now.
Okay, so the first question will be displayed on your screen. So based on that only you need to answer. And let's see who will be on the top of us scoreboard. गाइस वन मोर थिंग कि अभी अटेंडेंस होगी तो उसके बेसिस पे आपको सर्टिफिकेट्स मिलेंगे, तो अभी कोई भी मीटिंग लीव मत करना, बिकॉज वी हैव नॉट सर्कुलेटेड द फॉर्म फॉर द टुडेज अटेंडेंस, तभी सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा। तो प्लीज वेट टिल द फॉर्म इज नॉट सेंड इन द चैट। Congratulations to all the winners, and the today's point will be added in the tomorrow's score. So based on that only we'll be having the winner. So the toppers has to keep their score on the top so that they can win the prize, and all those who are on the bottom they have a chance of 3 more days so that they can score and become the winner. So I will be sharing the attendance link in the chat, so please fill up the forms.
Hope you all had a fun attending the quiz. At the end, thank you to all the audience for attending the event. Meet you all in tomorrow's session to continue the journey of web development with something new at the same time. Till then, stay curious, keep learning. The link of the attendance form is posted on the chat box, so I request all the participants to fill the attendance form. As well as the link to our all social media platforms is posted on the chat box. You all can join our community to get updates about events and workshops and interact with our GDSC team. I wish all the best to everyone. Thank you and have a nice day.
Okay, so in the section part, if your college have in like for the CS4, if the section is your CS4, then you have to fill the section. In the section, you have to need to fill 4. If it is doesn't exist, then just leave that option or fill any of it. It's nothing that will be checking out the section wise. Okay, so for the electronics EL, you just choose easy. Just select your college name and just fill out your correct mail ID, your number, and your name so that we can provide the certificates to you based on that only. Okay, so now you can just, yeah, you can leave the meeting if you have just filled out the form. And tomorrow we will be resuming the session at the same time at the 5 o'clock with new topics with HTML, with CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. For the computer science, you have to select CSE. Okay, I'm pursuing BSc honors, so we will have to fill, yeah, we have to fill BSc only. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope tomorrow also you will come with the same energy you are having today. And we will be having in the new topics, that is CSS. Okay, Naman, in the section part, you just need to you just fill anything which you want to fill, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's up to you. We will not looking at that. Just fill your college name correct. Just select your college name correctly.